Anybody wants to share any other emotions? Till now we have got excitement, doubt, and anxiety. Okay. So Dr. Kirti, what would you want to pick up as today's topic?
All right. So we'll go with doubts because this is very interesting topic and we are seeing many people going through right now with this. So when I get a call, people wanting tarot reading, they say that, okay, we have so many doubts. After clearing up with tarot, again, after 2 days, they'll call, again, we have doubt on certain thing. So doubt is something that is, constantly coming into your human mind. And it's like, some way they feel that they are stuck. Yes, guilt also, Namita, right? So guilt, doubt, this is especially so when you doubt yourself, then you will see that things are not working out because doubt is a place of not trusting yourself. So when there is no trust, obviously there will be a lot of doubt here. So when you talk about doubt, how do you feel about it?
It's a little overwhelmed because I have this pattern where I take on a lot of things with a lot of enthusiasm and then it sort of sometimes fizzles out. So I don't complete 100% of the things I take on. So I'm not. So there's this little thing is, will I see this through to its to the end? That's where the doubt comes.
So tell me one thing, like how would you feel if you progress? And how you will feel if suppose you're not progressing?
I don't think that I would keep on trying. Like I don't think I'd give up, but I would along the way get frustrated. By the end, I wouldn't have given it my all, and it would probably be not with my 100%, but I would still see it through, but maybe not in the best fashion.
Okay. So Namita, doubt does not create unworthiness. It's a myth, but unworthiness definitely creates doubts. So it is not about unworthiness. Doubt can never create unworthiness. Doubt itself is an effect of certain thing that is there inside you. So unworthiness could be the reason of doubt. So keep that in mind next time. And when you talk about doubt, all right. So doubt is all about not trusting where you are and where you are looking for. And this doubt will always come from the place of either fear or maybe fear. It could be like fear of failure. It could be fear of maybe not meeting something, or maybe fear of criticisms, judgments. But the basic emotion towards doubt could also be the fear. So whenever you think about doubt, you need to think one thing is, okay, why I'm doubting? What if? What the worst can happen? I may not succeed to what I'm looking at, or I may not reach to where I'm looking for. This could be the worst that could happen. But if suppose I reach, that could be the best moment of my life. So where the doubt is blocking you?
Yeah, I know it's fear of judgment and criticism, which is why even though I complete it, I'll do it in a way that it's very subdued. So it doesn't attract enough attention to be criticized. I think that's where the difference comes in. I know it's judgment and criticism because I'm not afraid of failure for sure.
Yes.
I mean, failure brought wonderful things into my life. So there's no fear of failure anymore.
So, but again, it is interconnected, right? Because suppose if I fail, so there is a fear of failure. So suppose I fail, the consequences are going to be the criticism and judgments.
No, but if I fail, nobody needs to know. I'll do it again. Yeah. I'll just work on it again.
Yes.
So
that is where you need to think about. If I fail, it's okay. But if I truly desire something, I need to have that will. I need to have that enthusiasm to do it again. How we see the spider? Again and again, it will try until it does not reach where it wants to. So it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall. It's okay to get criticized. It's okay to get judged and all, but keep moving. So before we started, we were talking, like Nikita, she was just telling, okay, there are many things coming up, a lot of energy, a lot of congratulations for what we have received. But I remember when I started my journey 11, 12 years back, and people were like, what is this? What is this all about? What is this energy work? You're getting mad towards it. this doesn't work, it doesn't happen. I remember me one side, everyone other side. But only one thing that kept me going was trust. I trusted what I was doing. I trusted my intuition. And it never bothered me what others are thinking about me. They used to make fun, they used to criticize, they used to judge, they used to create, it was like, for them it was a joke, talking about it, making fun about it and all this. That's why it was a joke for them. Instead of taking those criticism and judgments into me, I just said to oneself, I trust you. It's okay if you fall, I'm there to support you. If you are not able to do it, I'm here to teach you again. So everyone inside you, you will have three people. One is adult of today, the bacha that is keeping you enthusiastic in you, and one parental figure in you for your own self. So when you are able to have this integrity with these three things, you will see all the doubts going away. But if not, if these three are rebelling each other, that is where passive aggressive behavior takes place. Self-sabotage, self-destruction, depressions. I'm not saying that if you're good at work, if you're doing so many things, you're trusting yourself, depression cannot happen. Depression can still happen. But this could be the major thing to go towards the depression when you're falling down. So doubt can create a lot of issues. The only thing that you can do here is say to yourself, I trust myself. I don't care whether someone is trusting me or not. I don't care what people think about me. I trust what I'm doing, because when I look into the mirror, into my own eyes, I need to say to myself, yes, you were right. Can I look into the mirror and say to myself, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing. I trust you. If you're able to do that, then you see how fast and easily the doubts will vanish. Best way to let go of the doubt here. Does it make sense, Alifia?
Yeah. I just did that exercise looking into the camera, and I've already seen it before.
Of course. See what healings are. Healings is nothing outside you. Healing is everything that takes you within you. So whenever you feel that something is not working for you, something is not happening for you, just ask yourself why. Is that goal important to me that I made, that I created, the work that I started? Is it important to me? Does it make sense to me? If yes, keep going, no matter what is happening. But if the middle of the route, if you feel, no, maybe it was my ego that I've started this and I'm not giving up, always drop that ego and make a U-turn. There's nothing wrong in that also. Always go within you and try to understand why I started at first place. Where do I like to reach? And how will I feel when I reach there? So this is very important. It doesn't matter. Nobody will realize what you did. Nobody will, remember the struggles that you have gone through. Nobody will remember that you cried so much when you were alone. You were fighting with your own self to reach certain goal. The doubts, the fears that you are overcoming now. Everyone will only see the success that you have reached to. So how does it matter what they think about you? Anyways, you doesn't matter to them until you're succeeding towards it. Or you're failing from that. The middle journey, no one bothers, no one cares about. So why? Why this fear of criticism and judgment? Think once. And let me know what answer to you receive. Anyone could say on this. Why there is need of criticism and judgment that people are passing on to you is so important to you. Why? Think about it.
I think because the approval somewhere also means success. So while failing on my own is one thing, I determine whether or not that's failure and whether or not I need to move on from there. But if I believe I've succeeded, but someone outside thinks, I mean, if there's a bad judgment, then that's an external failure, but an internal victory. I don't think I know how to deal with something
Yeah, I think Seema has asked a similar question, what Alifia is saying, because society is all about external approvals. So how do we deal with that?
Who is society? Are you not society to someone else?
That's a very interesting question, Dr. Kirti. But as children, our scores were not out of 100, but as per the first who stood in the class, isn't it? And that's how the conditioning always went, right? So even today, your salary is
So
not according to what you want.
One thing, Seema here. Okay. So it was always about the first, and that always mattered, right? The conditioning, the word conditioning that you gave, from where it has come?
Again, I think now I'm more aware, like what you're saying, but it is an external conditioning which is put by society, external people around me.
No. Are you sure about it? Think once again. It is coming from the society or it is coming from the family? Once again, think about it.
Family first.
Exactly.
Then the society.
And you will always do the things to meet up to your family expectations, not for the society. You're not doing for the sake of society, and you never do that. Okay? Because your parents kept on seeing and they wanted you to see something and somewhere in the society, you believed and picked up that belief into you and you learned about it. So this conditioning has been learned, has been taught into you. And there's always a way to unlearn it. So if there are 30 people in a class, do you think everyone can come first? Is it possible?
No.
There are 130 crore people in particular country where we live. Do you think everyone can come first?
Never.
So how can it be right?
True.
How can it be right that everyone has to be number one? Everyone has to be at certain place. Everyone, they have their own journey. So when you think about housewives, they are doing their best 30 days a month without any break, 24/7 they're available, and in return they don't even get proper respect from the family. It is right. The respect part is always there, with not even with the family but also with the working women or working men, right? It is like irrespective of the gender. Yeah. So how do you think that who is deciding? And do you think if your mother would have not taken care of you, if your father would have not earned for you, you would have been what you are right now?
No.
So everything is important. Even your parents, when they used to clean your poop, take you to for shower and all, they used to dress you up. From where you have come to the point where you are able to do everything by yourself and you are an independent person. But first place, how did you become independent? First, the thing was you were dependent on someone, then you became independent. The procedure is same for everyone. Every human being, the procedure is same. From dependency to independency. So why this ranking? Why you always everyone want to put itself into something, some unrealistic thing where they are not happy about? So think first at what actually you're looking for your own self. Create the goals within you for your own self. Be your own competitor. And whenever the results are out, you are the only person who has to say how much you have put in, what you have gained, and what you would like to tell to yourself about it. It is you, and you. Always think about that. So now when you're able to walk, so very simple example I'll give here for everyone. It is now you're able to walk on your leg nicely. You can get up, you can go anywhere you want to go. Suppose, if you hurt yourself, you're not able to do your stuffs by your own self. How do you feel at that time? A lot of dependency, lot of helplessness here. So now what you always feel, no matter what, till the death, I want to be on my own. I don't want to get dependent or on the bed where I need help from other, I feel helpless, right? So what you do for that, you try to keep yourself fit and fine. You try to create so many things around you so that, you know, you can be absolutely fine, but things will unfold the way it has to. So always believing the self-support is very important here. So when you think about self-support, independency, why can't you think about trusting yourself and creating the things that you wish for your own self? Not the neither the society, nor the family, nor someone else. Why can't you? Just ask yourself and tell back what you feel about it. Take your time. Ask yourself, why?
I think
Get an answer for that.
I think it goes back to the conditioning, whether it's from the family or from the society, where, like, you know, since the day you're born, you're all conditioned that till you don't get approval of somebody else, you have not achieved, even if you have set your own goals. It's a little difficult.
But who has decided to live into this conditioning?
See, I don't think we realize also that it's our conditioning because it's been so long.
Yes.
So we have never known that what is conditioning and what is not conditioning. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Yes. But today, now, at this moment, when you realize it was conditioning, it was not me, what would you like to do with that?
So how do you differentiate between what is conditioning and what is you?
What is conditioning and what
is I, in the sense, like, what is the authentic me and what is conditioning? How do, because what is my conditioning could be your authentic you, or what is, let's say, Seema's authentic could be my conditioning.
Yes. So the only way to understand whether it is conditioning or it is not conditioning is what you feel at the end of the day, whatever you're doing. Talk to yourself. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Talk to yourself, morning. If morning or in the night before you sleep, 5 minutes, and when you wake up, 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, talk to yourself and try to ask to yourself that what I did the entire day, how do I feel about it? Am I happy? Am I energetic? Am I feeling drained? Am I not feeling good about it? Or maybe I felt great about it. If great, why? If not, why? So when you talk to yourself and when you get answers to it, you will understand whether you're coming from the place of conditioning or you're coming from the place of, okay, it's me and I'm wanting to do that too. So I'll give you an example here again with my own self here. Instead of talking outside, let me give example of my own self. So many people, they ask me, how do you work entire day? Yeah? From morning till the night, I keep on working, doing the sessions, giving the classes, giving the lectures, or maybe if not anything else, I'll keep on doing something productive towards my work, more towards my work. Yeah? I don't do anything else beside my work. So this put a question mark in my head also. So before answering it back, I wanted to first confirm with my own self that what could the answer be. So I just sat with me for 5-10 minutes it could be. I just sat myself and I just asked myself, okay, what am I doing? Am I right? Am I enjoying it? Or I'm just doing for the sake of name, fame, finances, what it is all about? When I sat with myself, the answer was I was enjoying doing it. If I'm not enjoying what I am doing, I will feel drained, I'll feel irritated, I'll feel frustrated, or I may also feel that, okay, it's enough is enough. I'm done with it. That will be seen on the face. But if not, instead, if I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling energetic, I'm feeling that enthusiasm and zeal to again wake up tomorrow and do something. That means I'm doing by my choice, not with the conditioning here. Does this answer to you, Deepti?
Yeah, so I guess it does. So basically, whatever makes us happy, it's also something that is in alignment with our life plan. So that is who we are.
So almost everyone are like, almost I've seen many people, and Deepti, you are a mother too, right? Yeah. So how you feel that, when the child is born, that 1-2 years of the child is completely behind the child, in and out 24/7. No break. You're not allowed to get sick. You're not allowed to take rest. You're not allowed to do anything, right? But still you do it. How does it come?
There are times when you wonder, why did you have the kid also?
Yes, there are times, obviously. But still you do it. So where that come from? That motivation, that enthusiasm, where does it come from? See, the wonder, when you wonder why the child is there, it comes again from the conditioning, that duty of being a mother. But when you actually, when you're enjoying, that again give back the energy. Oh, wow, it's my child. I need to take care. So that love towards the child creates the energy also. And the conditioning of being a mother creates that questioning also, okay, why the child is there. So this is how the difference between conditioning and me doing something comes here. So I think this will make a sense into you when you go back and sit about it. Okay, I don't know how did I did. Like 24/7 being with the child, working so much and also performing other duties in the house. How did it happen? Question yourself. You will get the answers towards it.
Okay. Anybody else has any point of view?
I think when we say that I need to do this, there is more pressure on you. You set more pressure on yourself than saying
Yes.
I choose to do it.
Hmm.
It would be a better way of looking at the situation and saying I choose to do this rather than I need to or I have to.
Yes. And suppose if you feel there's no other choice, I have to do it, there's no other choice. Abhi kya kare? Nothing can be done. If you're in that condition, just say to yourself, in that condition, okay, just close your eyes and say to yourself, I trust myself. There must be a reason that I've fallen into such thing, and I trust myself that I will grow stronger and better with this. Instantly you will feel there's some energy into you, some activeness, that hopelessness will get into enthusiasm, and that, falling down will again become like, the fire into you to just lit up around. And everyone would see that change, positive change into you. We are into dual world. So every time we will fall into situations, because there's so much of conditioning in the mind, that every time you will see there's something or the other situation coming up where you don't know what to do about it. That time it's better, because you are the story writer of your own life. If you have written this thing, if this has come into your way, that means there's something needed to be understood about it. And definitely this will make you to turn out to be more stronger and better person in your life. Only thing that needed here is trust, positivity, and feeling good about whatever you're doing, enjoying it. I'm not saying enjoying is like having fun with everything. If you feel there's a certain situation you cannot have fun, but at least accepting it the way it is and going with the flow of life. Instantly you will see the energy coming up, the boost coming up, and you will see that you are ready to overcome that situation that you might not be liking at that time. Very simple.
So trust is the antidote of doubt.
Obviously, lack of trust creates doubt. So obviously the trust can only be replaced with the doubts.
And so you're saying that we don't need to look for validation for what we do, as long as we are happy doing what we are doing.
Yes. Validation is needed when you're feeling that, things are not working for you. Or maybe you're not leading anyway. Maybe you're not feeling good about, or maybe you're feeling low energy. You're feeling you're drained out completely. You're not liking what is happening. That time validation is needed. But if you're enjoying, you're accepting the situations the way it is, then you won't feel that. So validation is not needed. And if suppose, as I've told just now, that if the situations are not in favor of your mental state or the physical state that you feel, still just accept it. When you accept it, you will get more power and more clarity to where you can lead towards from this situation and going to the best of you that could happen. at that time. Simple, very simple. Keep it simple. Life is simple if you keep it simple.
Yeah, that I agree.
Yeah.
Basically,
So it's like,
look for self-validation. That's the key.
yes. Always ask to yourself, is it right or not? Is it good or not? And what I'm feeling, am I happy or I'm not happy? How you treat your child or how you treat any child around her, just treat yourself in that way. Or maybe how you treat your pets. Or if not, if you don't have child, if you don't have pet, if you're not able to understand how you feel your parents should treat you. When you were a kid, when you're grown up, treat yourself in the similar way, because now you're a parent of your own self. So just go and treat yourself in the similar way. You will see a lot of changes coming up in your life, and slowly you will see the need of doubts are over. Automatically it gets over. You will start accepting and going with the flow. And when you go with the flow, you will see the best coming up. So conditioning always come from where the conditioning is coming. Can anyone tell me where the conditioning is coming? I'm not talking about the people and all. Where is the conditioning that you've already taken, where it is there inside you? So where it is coming from you? Subconscious mind. So what is there? So what is there in subconscious mind? In subconscious mind, what is there in subconscious mind?
All the conditioning that has been there over the years.
Yeah, but in what form? It won't go in the form of conditioning, CONDTINIONG.
Feelings, emotions,
experiences,
Thoughts,
exactly.
pattern.
Experiences, feelings, emotions that creates the file of belief system. So suppose if you feel you went and you asked something to your parents and they said, oh, be quiet. Abhi, you don't need it. So just be quiet and don't ask it again. You don't need it. Then you feel, okay, maybe I don't need it. Then you're quiet. So there's one part of you, one belief system. This belief system will be written with the pencil. So you can erase it. Because you're a kid, you can erase it. But second time, again, you're going and asking something. The conditioning will be, I told you to do that. Did you do that? No. If you have not done that, you don't deserve it. So another same sort of emotion, okay, I'm not worth it. That will come up again. The situation is different. Conditioning is different. But the belief system toward is what? I am not worthy. So this time it will be written with the pen. Second inner child. Third time, when you're growing up, maybe not the parents, maybe not the relatives, maybe you're going out and somewhere outside you fell into the situation where you see, people are making you feel that you're not worthy. So suppose if you're not able to do something or perform certain things, then they'll be like, you're not worth trusting. I have done wrong choosing you. It could be any situation in the school or somewhere. But this time, the conditioning of expectation of other people and the trigger of into you that I'm not worthy of certain thing, this time it has been engraved onto the rock. And now, after this third inner child that strongly has felt that I'm not worthy, has created permanent belief system into you. So it could have happened at the age of 1. It could have happened at the age of 6. It could have happened in the age of 15 or maybe 12. But this time, this is permanent into you. And now your entire life, whether you're living for 50 years, 70 years, 100 years, 200 years, maybe after birth, dying in this life and going to second birth, you may carry forward it. So your belief system of I'm not worthy now will script your entire life. So this is the blueprint. This is the raw material through which the production will happen of your entire life. And this is how the belief system will work. And this belief system is coming from the conditioning of your peers, parents, schooling, relatives, friends. But ultimately, what it was chosen by you to believe into it. And you gave up and you are into it now. Anything you would like to know about it?
So you're saying beliefs can also be from past lives or ancestral?
Obviously, they are hangover of belief system. They are hangover of a belief system from the ancestors as well. There are many belief systems coming from there. Definitely it comes from there.
So, Dr. Kirti, when you say beliefs will be permanent, they are now permanent. But like you've also said, in inner child, we are unable to, we are able to rewrite them, is it?
Yes. So now what we do in belief system, we have to understand and figure it out where it is coming from, right? And then we have to shift it. We have to change it from what you have stored. We have to remove it out from the roots and we have to release it out. This is how it will be easier for the person to come out of it and take back the worthiness that person is truly is about, what they deserve about in their life. So it's like releasing it out and taking it back, what you're truly born with, or maybe what you're truly here to experience with. So this is what we do in belief system.
But where the belief system, doctor, is you may not be able to exactly identify where it's come from. But I mean, what I perceive is that the moment you acknowledge the fact that there is this belief system within me, which I am able and have the capability to change, that's when change will begin to occur.
The change will become. That is true. The change will begin. But somewhere you have to uproot it also. So that uprooting you need help with.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's where somewhere when you acknowledge it, then I need help.
Yes.
I can do it, but maybe
surface.
not by myself. But I need someone to help me get through this.
Yes. True. And that is the easiest method to go with. Understanding yourself. And what happens is, suppose I'll give you an example that the workshop is coming up on belief system. In this workshop, what we do, we know so many common belief systems that people go through. So what we do, we make the person going into the subconscious mind and understand where the belief system is. So this is coming from the muscle testing, right? And this muscle testing can be, just give me 1 minute, okay? Sorry.
Okay, so while she's, I'm guessing, quieting her dog, I'll just plug in the belief workshop details here for anybody who's interested. It's from 23rd September to 29th September. In case anyone's interested, I've put it on the group, or you can ping any of us individually. Sorry, over to you, Dr. Lee.
Yeah, so there is a certain process to understand whether the particular belief is there inside you or not. So your body will know. So what we do, when we make you go through that, right? Whether it's like muscle testing, right? Or whether you're standing and when your body is tilting towards, north or south. And there are many other things that will show where if the belief system is there into you or not. So through this workshop, what we do, through the workshops that we are already offering to many people, and now it's upcoming with us also now. So what we do in that is, we'll make you understand what belief systems you have stored into you. And not only understand, it's not that we are diagnosing and we are just giving you the report and do whatever you want to do with that. No, we are helping you to come out of that also. So if you're using 35 belief system here, so 7 days with 5 belief system or 10 belief system, whatever is coming up. So I will not say that every belief system you will be able to overcome instantly from the workshop, because if people are having more and more belief system into them, right? But definitely they will have that opportunity to cross 70-80% of what they are doing. It completely depends on how many belief system you're storing into. And you will see, suppose one belief system is falling down or it has been removed, other belief system automatically will come down. It is always interrelated. So if you're able to tap to the root, if you're open to it, you will easily see that you're able to tap into the root belief system and overcome that. So that gets very easier to you. The conditioning is always creating belief systems into you, and this further belief system is further creating your entire life, no matter what you do. So many people will have this doubt: I do so much, but I don't get appreciation, I don't get promotions, I don't get anything in return. But that, see that person, the person is not doing anything. But if the person does only 1%, also the person get a lot of appreciation. Not only at the workplace, you also see certain things happening in the house between siblings as well. Or maybe, in the secondary family, if you're married and when you go into the, this secondary family thing, there you see a lot of differentiations happening. So why do you think if the person is one, the thought is one, the why these different things coming up with different behavior for different people, where it is coming from? One, what I feel about the person. Second, what that person feel about themselves. So suppose if I don't have a very good view about someone else, but the person believes in itself, maybe I won't be able to criticize the person directly on the face. I will not have that gut. Why? Because the person has a strong shield that will not allow the negativity to come. Second thing, if I have a bad opinion about someone and this someone has the bad opinion about itself, it will be very easy for us to connect and put the person down. You are like an open virus, you are like an open aura where you will grab all the negativity, all the things into you. So this is how belief system damages you every day in your life. So if you really want to come out of that, you need to understand the conditioning that you've grown with. And it's not only about what people told you, but it also about how you perceived about yourself and about life while you were growing up. Because as a child, you didn't have that analytical mind to analyze everything. But now you have. So this is the time where you can differentiate and create healthy boundaries and let go of the belief system that is no more working you. It's blocking your growth, it's blocking your success, blocking your health, blocking everything that you're desiring for. It could be at one place or it could be at the multiple places of your life. So this is how belief system will help you to overcome the conditioning, the limitations into you, and expand yourself to the best you can be. So anyone has any doubt, they can ask about it.
I think this was a lot of information, because I think we never, at least I never thought that conditioning and beliefs were same. We always looked at conditioning as something which you get from outside. Like it's never our responsibility. Whereas belief is ours. So yeah. So this was interesting.
It is coming from conditioning always.
Yeah. So if nobody has any questions, we can start with the meditation. I guess we should start.
Yes. So the meditation is going to be very short and simple. All right. So all of you just close your eyes. Just relax. And while relaxing, just feel yourself, your existence. Just feel yourself and your existence. Keep on feeling yourself, your existence. Feel your physical body and allow yourself to be into it right now. Keep on breathing and feel your existence. Feel your physical body and feel the existence within your physical body. Be silent. Any thoughts coming to you, Allow it to come and go, and focus only on your existence into this physical body. And when you are doing this, just ask to yourself, am I happy? So when you ask to yourself, am I happy? Just wait for the answer. Allow the answer to come. Keep your focus into your physical body. If the answer is yes, I'm happy, feel the happiness into you. But if the answer is no, then ask to yourself, what can I do to make you happy? And be silent, wait for the answer to come. Make a note of your answer. And if there is no answer, it's okay. Just keep on repeating in your mind every day to receive the answer. So now say to yourself, I promise to keep you happy. The only thing is, I'm looking for the guidance from you, how to keep you happy. I'm ready. I'm ready to keep you happy. And it is your right to be happy. I will provide. I will do everything that will make you happy. The only help I need is the guidance. Please guide me. How can I keep you happy? It is my honor to keep you happy. And feel the happiness within myself. Feel the love for your own self, for your existence within you. And feel the gratitude for the physical body. Let go of all the doubts, all the fears that is blocking your happiness. It's over. It ends now. And I choose happiness, love to spread into me totally and completely. Keep on feeling your existence into your physical body and allow yourself to receive answers and guidance every day. Say to yourself, I'll come every day to talk to you, to keep you happy, to seek answers from you. You're the best guide. I trust you and I love you. Keep on feeling this within you as much as possible. Keep on breathing and slowly allow yourself to get aware. Integrate, 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 and open your eyes now. Open your eyes and bring back your awareness into the room now. Anyone would like to share or you want to be with it?
Leave with it. Be with it. Okay.
I think everyone wants to be with it. So let's talk with this. A very good night to everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Dr. Kirti, for this beautiful session. I think the discussion part was just as important as the meditation. So thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you
so much. Good night. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you so much. It was very enlightening. Thank you, doctor. Good night.
Good night. God bless.